All right, so as we come back, Andy Reid has been asked, Bubba, and this is the question now, very controversial. How you going to White House? Hey,
I thought he'd give a good answer.
You going? He said yes. If I'll be there, if they're inviting us, I'll be there. It's quite an honor, I think.
Well, they will be invited.
They will be. Now, of course, we have to. Well, what players are going?
Yeah.
How many players will go see the racist Trump? And from what we're gathering, we haven't had anybody so far that says they're not going. Right.
Right. Some of the bigger names of the team have said they're going.
Well, they should go. And as we've said before, even though there's been presidents I certainly didn't vote for and presidents that I thought were detrimental to the country, if the White House invited us to come and be honored by our country, then I'm going.
Well, think about this, too. It's an honor for those players personally. But it's also about the team. It's about the city they represent. It's about their fans. Mm-hmm. So many of them will say on the sideline after the game, we did this for you, Kansas City. You've been great fans. We thank you. Well, it's also good for those fans to see you at the White House being honored. I mean, it's the same thing.
They are being honored.
Yeah, it honors the fans. So when you say you're not going to go, you take that away from your fans, too, as being recognized by the White House. It really is above the politics of the situation. It should be. That's why we love sports.
And the Trump administration always lays out all this fast food for them.
Yeah, isn't that funny? The new habit now, the new tradition is you go and you buy hamburgers at the fast food joint for them because I guess it was it Clemson that was there during the strike or one of the shutdowns when we didn't have the folks there to cook, so they just had to go out and get them fast food, and now that's the tradition. It's kind of funny, isn't it?
So, Chief fans, Speedy, that includes you. Mm-hmm. Andy Reid says they're going.
They're going.
Yep. So,
Speedy, you ought to go too.
Let's head that way. Let's just go.
All right, at what point have the Chiefs, have they been given a pass on being called the Chiefs? Do they still?
You don't see much blowback on them at all, do you?
Mm-mm. Is it because if I say Chief, everybody that's okay?
Yeah, you really don't.
Yeah. Is Chief bad or good? I mean,
well, just think about this: the amount.
Hey, what about it, Chief?
Political correctness has been thrown at the Redskins, or any of these other places. I mean, the Seminoles, of course, they
cut a deal.
They made their own deal to get everybody to be cool with it down there. So,
by the way, don't forget, if I can be bought not to care, I didn't care.
Yeah, the Illini, they're there. Now the Sioux. Remember, they made them change. Was it South Dakota?
Yeah, the Fighting Sioux.
Really?
Yeah, they couldn't handle it.
West Georgia?
Or was it
that was
South Dakota? They're the Jackrabbits, aren't they?
They may be.
But it was one of those groups. I know what you're talking about.
You pulled that out of nowhere.
You did. I'm very proud of you.
I remember them playing Jack State in basketball.
Sure.
That's the only reason.
Maybe the Sioux was North Dakota. You got North Dakota and you got North Dakota State. I think it was North Dakota was the Sioux. The Fighting Sioux.
Really?
I don't know. I may have made every bit of that.
You're all over the road.
You pointed at people.
So
somebody was the Fighting Sioux.
Right.
I'll tell you that, and they changed it to something else.
Right.
That I know.
I tell you what, the old Redskins have dug in, haven't they?
Yeah.
They have.
And they probably got hit the hardest.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. But as you said, the Chiefs have pretty much had a walk.
Has anybody been upset with the Chiefs ever?
I mean, they do
the Arrowhead Stadium.
Tomahawk chop, too.
Yeah. I mean,
they
did
do
you
the
hear
chop and all that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That was pretty cool during pregame.
One of my favorite things in sports.
Yeah.
Listen, I've heard it live several times. It is very eerie.
Yeah, it is.
It's very eerie.
Do you remember when you started it, Rick, when your electrician didn't show up and you were going to the Braves game?
I loved it.
And from there on, now we get in every now and then those little chants.
I love it.
I love chant talking.
I'm surprised by all the chant teams, their commitment to it.
Yeah,
they'll stick with it for a long period of time.
Yeah,
so, because I'm pretty much a couple of round chant guy, and then I got to move on. But I mean, it's just shocking to me how they keep it going. I mean,
I tell you what,
it really cuts down on the number of cheers the cheerleaders have to learn. You know,
does Florida State, like when their team's really bad, do they still have the commitment?
Oh yeah, they're still doing it.
But do they do it as long as they used to back
I don't think so.
Rick, they do. There's just not as many people there to see it.
Right. Yeah. If your team's
not as loud as it was,
chants lose their fervor if your team's.
Look, the Braves. It sounds much better in September than it does. In June.
Sure.
Yeah.
And
I was just about to bring them up because whenever you hear it, and you, I mean, there's just a certain
they're feeling it's like, okay, something's about to change here.
Fire you up.
I mean, the chant's taking over, and
I know
somebody's about to choke.
Yep.
Well, I mean, that's typical white people talk.
That's true.
Imagine towing the rubber and hearing that.
Oh man, nothing like it.
And here it's about to happen. It's about to happen.
To me, the thing that I know, here I go again. Don't do this to yourself again, Rick. As long as what's happening is not disrespectful or degrading, I've never understood.
Yeah.
These things were never adopted to be degrading. Why would anybody want to name their team
Rick,
something
I
degrading?
will go
I
a
know,
step
I know.
further. You're celebrating. You're uplifting.
Yeah.
None of these
culture.
things are horrible. They're awesome.
You're transferring your identity to
Right.
them. You
Right.
want to be them. You've said we're together. We're going to be them.
Yes.
it's honoring somebody.
It is.
Hey guys, what's a
I never got that.
What's a mascot that we can come up with and make us look like that we're a force to be reckoned with? I tell you one thing's impressive is an Indian brave. Ooh, Braves. That's a good
yeah.
one. And then somebody said, "How's that offensive?" I'll tell you what's intimidating when you see the big chief with his headdress on,
Yeah,
and he means business.
yeah.
Let's be the Chiefs.
And look at it this way:
How you feel about an Arrowhead? Let's call the stadium.
How many pro teams have you seen that call themselves the Cavalry? We don't have many. Think about that.
Well, you'd probably get up. There'd be some pushback against you that the Cavalry's evil because at one time they fought Indians. You can't. You got
But okay, we'll accept that. But now we're going to call ourselves the Indian side of it.
I know.
And that's bad.
Cavalry's a good
So
one.
you- how do
I
you-
like Cavalry.
Yeah, I mean, well, how can you not? You got to look at this thing on both sides.
What's the chances that Trump will do the chant while the Chiefs are at the White House?
Very high.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Very high. And if I know him like I think I do,
may get it slightly wrong.
well, if I know him like I think I do, but he'll also
He'll be
also
wrong.
say, "Hey, let's get this right. Somebody let Elizabeth Warren come lead us."
Yeah.
Oh,
If he doesn't do
will
that-
work Elizabeth Warren into it.
Somehow Elizabeth Warren is going to be worked
Yes.
into.
He will say
does
I
that.
love Kansas City. He said we got somebody else that loves Kansas City, Elizabeth Warren. Yeah.
Okay,
our own program.
She loves the
we're
Chiefs.
going to do that chant. Elizabeth Warren, you come help us. It's you probably know this better than the rest of us. Pocahontas, come lead us. So anyway, but he brought that up again. Look, see that right there. What's offensive about that?
Yeah, we're getting a lot of calls on the Chiefs getting a pass. So
Yeah, well,
Yes, that's real.
So here's the answer. Jim thinks he knows it. Go ahead.
Hey, bud, how y'all doing?
Good.
We're great.
Good.
Jim.
How about you?
Welcome.
The reason they're getting a pass on it is because there's not actually a tribe's name in it.
But what about Braves? There's no tribe name in Braves, and they get flack.
Well, back in the day, though, they used to be,
okay,
what was it? They called them something before, back in the day that had a name.
Okay, you're rambling.
All right, I thought Jim knew.
Jim, now you're rambling.
Jim doesn't know.
Jim,
but-
what-
There's not a
anyway.
tribe. There's not a tribe named Redskins either.
No,
Why did
Jim.
Jim
I'm sorry,
call?
Jim. That's just not it.
Yep.
You're incorrect.
Jim thought he had something.
He was wrong. Jim had a point that he didn't quite think through. Hey, I tell you why. Once I said Braves, Jim was struggling. And he started
Couldn't stand up, just look a little deeper.
Bubba, Rick and Bubba.